So we actually don't have a lot of topics on the Bruins sheet, but I'm going to add a couple things, I think. First of all, I just want to, before we get into the prospect stuff, I want to talk about Pasternak's comments.
Whoop.
David Pastrnak has came out and more or less said he wants to be a Boston Bruin. Boston is the place that he feels picked him, allowed him to become the player he is, and allowed him to become the man he is. And he genuinely, it seemed after everything he's gone through the last couple summers with the loss of his son, with the injuries, he wanted a summer of just having fun. And that's what he did. He didn't look at his contract situation. I really believe him when he says that. Like, he didn't care all summer. He said it was his first summer to get to actually train in like 3 years. He trained hard. He was on the ice all the time. I know that because I heard an interview with Jacob Verana, who said that he was training with Pasta and they had a like weekly skate over in Czech. So it seems Pasta's on track to sign a contract. Pasta's also willing to talk contract during the year. He said he has this whole year. They're going to get a deal done, more or less. So my worry meter for Pasta is now at a 1 out of 100.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I also think that what he said in his previous contract where, the money really doesn't completely matter, I think that somewhat trickles over, and that's why he's so, laissez-faire about the whole situation.
How about they asked him if he had saw all the other guys getting paid, and he was like, no. He's like, no, I haven't looked at any other guys getting contracts. They're like, you haven't like looked around and been like, oh, and he was like, no. Pasta's going to get paid a lot of money. He's going to get paid what he's worth. Pasta's not looking for that Nathan McKinnon contract.
Thank God.
On that?
Oh, what's up?
Never mind.
Sorry, a little out of it.
Didn't know if you had an opinion on Pasta.
Oh no. I mean, you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head. It's
great insight.
Great insight.
Great insight.
Been paying attention.
Yeah, great insight. I love that. Great insight. Yeah, no, I mean, I listened to. I guess I don't know. We'll talk about it later on, but McKinnon is going to get that money.
Oh,
all of it. It's going to be above 11. It's going to be above 11. Going to get it, but yeah, I think that kind of. Oh, Matt. I mean, guys are reporting. Everyone's there. I think they were looking to be there in Boston. They had their golf tournament.
Chara's back in Boston.
Yeah, that's nothing. He's not going. He's not going to be in the Bruins.
It's a nothing burger.
Yeah.
I mean, he might sign a contract, but it'll only be for a day.
Yeah, exactly. One other thing that from that Pasta interview, I listened to all 10 minutes of it.
The David Krejci comment?
No. What Krejci comment?
He made a comment about David Krejci, that video that he posted about like him coming back to Boston. He didn't tell Krejci that he was doing that ahead of time.
No.
He was like, but hey, can I post this? And Krejci was just like, go ahead.
Yeah, and he said like the contract was nowhere near done. Krejci didn't even know if he was gonna want to play in Boston again. Like
that was his way to try and get himself back here.
Yeah, which is funny. Also, he did when they asked him about Cassidy, he was like, no, like I'm not. He was like, yeah, he was a great coach. I got along with him really well. I was very surprised. He did not have one, like he made it clear that he was a Cassidy fan, which I've said from the start. How could he not be? Like, how could he not be a Cassidy fan? Cassidy gave him world's longest leash. Couldn't really dislike him.
I mean, for Pasta, he was in the perfect scenario. I mean, you don't really have to play a two-way game when you have two of the best defensive forwards on your line.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no. But other than that, I mean, prospect tournament, I'll let you guys get into this more than me. This is
a little more heavy on the Kev. I'll let him take it off.
Yeah, no, it was just so far they've had 2 games or 1-1. But the big thing is Johnny Beecher. He's showing his offense. If you watch like the clips on Twitter and everything from the game, he's finally using his big body. He's going to the dirty areas. He's getting those tips, the rebounds, everything. He's just putting them in. Beecher's come out and he's talked a lot this off season how he's focused on his shot. That was the number one thing he's been working on developing is his shot and becoming a like shoot first guy. He really didn't have to do it at Michigan. He was just anchoring that fourth line with all the stars that Michigan had. Beecher really didn't need to be a 20-goal scorer. So now that he's finally coming into the
anchoring the third line.
Third line? Was it the third line?
Yeah.
All right, my bad. Sorry.
It's okay.
But Yeah, so just having the ability now, like knowing he needs to step up his offensive game if he want to make his mark on this team. So he's really been focusing, and that's really paid off in this prospect tournament so far. And you love to see a guy that's gonna push in training camp, trying to make that fourth line. So knowing the work's been paid off, and hopefully there's more to come and see what Beecher's game is. But for all those people that have been hating on his offense, you never know. I think it's finally it's coming along. It's coming along. So
Yeah, I've been a Beecher fan from the start. I think Johnny Beecher is going to be a good NHL player. I still do. He hasn't proved otherwise, so he has to see what he does. He genuinely, like, just listen to his comments. He sounds like he wants to make this Bruins team. I don't see there being a spot, but he wants to make it. Then next guy we have on the list,
Fabian Lysell.
okay, that's not the name I was going for. I know how to pronounce that one. But Fabian Lysell. Lysell is 6'9". By everyone saying Lysell's talent's off the board, very good. His coach in the WHL was like, yeah, I don't. Someone asked him like if they think they're going to get Fabian back this year, and he was just like, no. He's like, no, we'd love to have him back, but he's probably going to go pro. They're like, he should be going pro. I think Fabian Lysell is probably going to start the year in Providence, and so is Beecher. And when someone goes down or someone gets hurt or we need a spark, we will see both them play in Boston this season. I fully believe that.
did you see Montgomery's comments about Lysell?
I did not.
So he came out, he had a press conference the other day, not press conference, but like interview, and he was talking about how that top spot on the line, when Marchand's gone, it's Zaka's to lose to Lysell. If Lysell proves it in training camp, it's all Lysell's. He said this is a guy you're not going to put in the bottom six. If he's going to play, it's going to be top six line, top 6 minutes. He's going to play with Bergeron, and it's Zaka's to lose, and Lysell's the game during training camp, and that's where Montgomery's going to leave it. If he proves himself, boom, he's going to be rolled out from game one.
I genuinely don't see that happening. I don't think Fabian Lysell is going to outperform Pavel Zacha in his first NHL training camp. Do I think he has more talent? Yeah, but Zacha's not exactly like low in natural skill and talent. Like he was a 6th overall pick. I think Zacha's going to be just fine. I don't know. Like, right?
That's kind of it.
Yeah. Toporowski.
It's Connor's boy.
Toporowski.
Yeah, so we all kind of saw the highlights that came across the other day. The young kid, Potts 2 goals. You didn't see it? I'll send you.
Yeah, I actually like went and just watched Beecher and Lysell, I think, to be honest with you.
I sent you them the other day.
Maybe I watched them. Yeah. If you send them to me, I definitely watched them.
So the one thing and the main reason why he's on the list is I currently live in the same city area that this folk comes from in the middle of, Iowa, Illinois, kind of splits the city here. But it's just kind of one of those things where it's neat, where you see somebody who grew up, in the area that you're currently living and make it, into the NHL program. Looks like, he's probably going to end up going back to the WHL, maybe an AHL Providence contract. I think his deal is actually built for the AHL, if I'm not mistaken, but I would have to double check. But seeing somebody who comes in who wasn't really on, a lot of your prospect depth charts and is performing and showing that he has something there, I think that's a huge positive for the Bruins when they completely lack depth in the prospect pool. So when you kind of find these gems laying out there, that's going to be a big deal. I mean, that's what made, the Tampa Bays of the world successful recently. That's what the Bruins are going to have to do, especially as they try to retool, rebuild, whatever you want to call it on the fly.
Yeah. Prospect pool doesn't look as bad as everyone makes it out to be. Still lacks center depth.
I think that's why it sucks, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have what you need.
No. I think that kind of wraps it up for the Bruins, for the dirty water. It's kind of it. We're going we're going to dedicate this whole Salt of the East segment to our Metro Division preview. Next week we'll do the Atlantic. Then we'll jump out west in the next 2 episodes, and then it'll be go time on the season. So, going to kick this off with our preview, and let's get rolling into the Salt of the East.